Hey everyone, it's FLAK. It took Battlefield 2042 just over a month to cross a terrifying threshold, while data mined information reveals more dark times may be ahead for the game before developers get a chance to turn things around. However, there might be some light at the end of this tunnel. We're talking about all of those things in today's video. To start, I have been keeping an eye on Battlefield 2042's ranking on Steam charts, which measures the active number of daily players. Now, this isn't a great gauge for determining overall sales and health of the player base, but the data does offer some specifics on player retention, at least on Steam as a platform. And to be honest, what I'm seeing here is alarming. Battlefield 2042 has an all-time peak of around 100,000 concurrent players. Since launch, that peak has plummeted to under 19,000. That's an 80% drop in about a month. A more alarming metric, however, is that numbers have fallen below that of Battlefield 5, which just the other day pulled in over 25,000 concurrent players. Yes, you heard that correctly. The much maligned Battlefield 5, released 3 years ago in 2018, is currently beating the newest entry to the Battlefield franchise a month after launch. Again, Steam numbers probably not representative of other platforms, and we have to take into account Battlefield 5 was actually given away for free on Steam not too long ago, but those numbers, they should still strike fear into everyone at EA and DICE. Even with Christmas and a 35% off sale, Battlefield 2042 is apparently failing to draw in players for the holidays. It might also have something to do with the game's dismal rating on Steam, which currently has a negative review rate of over about 60%. Many of the complaints stem from poor optimization, lack of game direction, bugs, and the overall abandonment of core Battlefield concepts. Since launch, developers have released several patches to improve stability and address things like netcode and other issues, and that's great. Continue to be supportive of developers as they work out the kinks. However, many in the community are waiting on the promise of additional content to flesh out Battlefield 2042's lean gameplay offerings. Unfortunately, according to new data mined info, it looks like they might be waiting quite a long time. Data miner Temporal has been digging into the game's files and laying out probable timelines for new content. It's no secret right now we're in the preseason phase of Battlefield 2042, but according to Temporal, Season 1 is allegedly scheduled to kick off on March 22nd, nearly 3 months from now. We don't know exactly what will be included in the first season of content either, but Temporal reports it will likely feature at least one new map, which is tentatively named Exposure. Exposure is supposedly set in Canada, where a landslide in the Canadian Rockies has revealed a research facility. Convinced it's a weapon, the Russians look to secure the site, while American forces run interference. That sounds great and all, but March is a long way away. Games need new content regularly to maintain their existing player base and draw in new blood. In the industry, the magic number is 30 to 45 days from launch for new content. We are in the middle of that sweet spot right now, so March, of course, isn't ideal, and unfortunately, this isn't a new problem. Historically, Battlefield has really struggled to get new content out of the door in a timely manner after launch. It happened with Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5, so to see it happening again is frustrating, especially given the problems with Battlefield 2042 at launch. It's part of the reason player base numbers continue to decline. Every game has a tipping point where a player is quote-unquote done everything, and with Battlefield 2042, I would argue that is a bit sooner than previous titles. Portal, of course, has a lot of potential to pick up that slack, but DICE really needs to make promoting good community experiences a core part of its social media presence if they want players to explore and embrace that facet of the game until March. In the absence of that, and if we're really stuck waiting until March for new substantial content, more dark times are ahead for the Battlefield franchise, and obviously I am not the only one who feels that way. The writing is on the wall, and many content creators are reading it and leaving the game for greener pastures. It's undeniable at this point that Battlefield 2042 faces an uphill fight if it wants to make an epic return. I mentioned at the beginning of this video that there is some light at the end of the tunnel, aside from the fact that DICE does actually have experience bringing games back from the brink. Looking at you, Star Wars Battlefront 2, EA has made significant changes to the upper management level and is supposedly devoting more resources to the Battlefield franchise. Aside from making Vince Zampella head of the franchise, one of the biggest additions for me has been Marcus Lehto. The former creative art director at Bungie is now head of narrative for the Battlefield franchise, but he has also taken a more active role in creative direction for Battlefield 2042. Thankfully, he hasn't been shy about this on Twitter and appears to understand the frustrations of the community and their passion and expectations for Battlefield. In fact, he actually popped into my DMs after that last Battlefield video to say he is listening to critique from the community. Now, how this feedback translates into future changes for the direction of Battlefield 2042 and the franchise remains to be seen, but I do view this as a glimmer of hope. Honestly, DICE and EA need to view the next few months not as a dark period for Battlefield 2042, but as an opportunity to be active and engage with the community, rebuild trust, and establish more open and honest communication. That's something they didn't really do leading up to this point, and I would really hate to see another missed opportunity. There is, of course, the unfortunate chance that all of this is too little too late. I've been reading a lot of comments on these videos. I know many of you feel that way. Personally, I hope that isn't the case, but I do agree that Battlefield 2042 needs some serious changes. So, tell me in the comments what you think about all of this. What do you think about the news on Battlefield 2042's player base on Steam? What about waiting until March for new substantial content? And how should devs shift the direction of the game in the future? Tell me down below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If not, a dislike. Make sure to subscribe, tap the bell for all the latest Battlefield 2042 content. And if you want to support the channel, keep your money, share this video. As always, thanks for watching.